Can you update us on Jaden, first of all?
He hasn't practiced here the last couple of days, and so he had hurt it, a couple days before, the day before Indiana. So he just has a hip flexor, and it's bothered him. So we've set him out. We'll see how it goes tomorrow. So I could see him playing. I could see him not playing. It's his call on how he feels.
Who would step in there if he can't?
All those guys. Just kind of depends on how the game goes on. Brandon Newman, Ethan Morton, Eric Hunter could play alongside Isaiah, vice versa. So, yeah.
Do you almost have to kind of prepare two different ways here because he's such a big piece of what you do offensively?
No, it's just you wouldn't call the same things. Yeah. And so, being prepared and running what you run and running a lot of stuff allows you, when something like this happens, that you're already built in for that flexibility.
When you look at Trayvon's last two games, anything there you can put your finger on that maybe things haven't been clicking for him quite as much? It seems like he's getting the shots you want him to get.
Right. In the previous game, he got a lot of attempts.
Yeah.
So being 6 for 18 and getting those attempts, that was good. We want him to be aggressive, and I think that was kind of an outlier game in terms of his field goal percentage. The other game, he just didn't get off to a good start, and Zach was giving him problems. And so, Zach's issue was his inability to make a free throw. And that was kind of my reason. My reason I didn't have him in at the end was, I was scared that we were just going to get 2 free throws, and I didn't know where he was at that point to be able to make those. That's tough sometimes. But when you get in those kind of stretches in a game shooting the basketball, it's hard, both at the field and when the free throw line. But no, in the first half of the Indiana game, he just, he turned the ball over a lot. And Zach had played well, so it just kind of minimized his minutes.
He didn't have a steal this last game. Is that more a reflection of Indiana doing a good job protecting the ball? Guys not being as aggressive as he should?
I think probably both. Even though we don't go out and just totally go after the ball, you can still have active hands. We have to be more active. Now, with that being said, we schemed and game planned for Trace Jackson Davis, and he wasn't in. So we spent a lot of time preparing for that. But, you still got to do our Achilles was our inability to take care of the basketball. The transition baskets in the first half just absolutely killed us. Obviously, Rob Finney absolutely killed us, and he played really well and knocked down some shots. And so I think Finney's ability to score the ball in the first half and our inability to contain the dribble and, turn the ball over and let them get a lot of transition opportunities, that really set us back. To be in the position that we were in the first half and then to lose that, to not be at a tie game, and then be down pretty substantial at halftime. Now when you come back and you do get the lead and you spend that kind of energy, you got to be able to close it out. But no, those areas are areas you definitely can't, whether you're at home or on the road. You got to take care of the basketball. You got to be able to keep the ball in front of you. Kind of back to your question, just that we have to be active with our hands. We have to be detailed in what we do and try to cause problems without it taking us out of a defensive position. Sometimes certain guys take that and now they're gambling all the time, and then we're 5-on-4. So you can be aggressive and have active hands, but also be solid. I think that's kind of the happy medium that we're looking for.
When you look at the 3 games we've lost in the big time, each one of those could have been flipped.
Yes.
By a play here or there.
Right.
How do you view that as we're this close, or these little things just continue to haunt us, and until you get those fixed, you're going to be in the same position?
It's a really good question. You can go and grab it, you get at Rutgers, and we don't handle the press on the one possession. We don't have a quality possession offensively. The second to last possession, against Rutgers. So, Wisconsin, I just thought our details, even at the end of the game, they played better than us. Our details throughout the game wasn't very good at all. And I got to do a better job of just having them on edge and being ready, but doing their job. That was just a game that I just felt like we had so many breakdowns, especially defensively, and then we were casual on the offensive end. We didn't value possessions, and you got to be able to value possessions. And obviously the Indiana game, we just went in detail about.
What are the big challenges Northwestern poses? I know
more than
when their
anything,
guards are hot,
they play hard, and their ability to score the ball. They run a lot of good stuff. They're good in transition. They don't have super numbers on the glass, but they were great on the glass against Michigan State. They had 18 offensive rebounds, and that's going to be a key piece for us. Who can win the rebounding battle and score some points on the offensive glass, and who can stop the other team from scoring in transition? I think those two areas right there are going to be key in that game. But we both run more plays than the Broncos. So it's like, you're sitting there trying to kind of think like what's coming or whatever. And that's kind of why he does it. It's why I do it, is that it causes problems for people. But, you still got to know the details of what you're running. And sometimes for us, like when we're executing at a high clip, it's the details. But what takes us out of some things sometimes is just good, solid defense, good pressure, and that's what we got to be able to do. We got to be able to have some pressure and have active hands and make it hard for them to see some openings and stuff like that. But no, they're a good team. The game they've scored the fewest amount of points on, they won. Michigan State. Like, they've lost games in this league where they've scored 87, 82 points and lost them. And so, like, their ability to score the ball is impressive.
And they've been in every conference game.
Yes.
Every single one they've been in.
Yeah.
They've had a chance to win every single one of those.
They're very competitive. Good team. Obviously, they've won their 2 games they've won at Maryland and at Michigan State, but they've been right there at home in all those games.
What makes Mason such a good three-point shooter, and at what point in the recruiting process was he doing that when you were recruiting him? Or?
He was selective. He didn't shoot a lot of them, but he shot a good percentage. Just his time that he puts in, he's put in a lot of time on his game. He's very religious in that area in terms of coming early, staying late, working with the coaches, getting extra film. He's put a lot of time into it, and he's got a good shot. And anytime you have a nice release and you have a good shot and you put in that kind of time, now we got to do a good job of finding him. We've ran a couple more things for him, done some different things, try to get him there. But it's also just when you're playing and things break down, being able to find him for shots is important.
You hear his voice a lot on defense, too.
Yeah.
Do other guys need to follow that lead?
Sure, everybody needs to talk. I think that's something that's so important when you're sitting there talking and helping each other all the time. When you do have breakdowns, you can cover up for things.
Obviously, in these last 2 games, Illinois, Indiana, their guards have really stepped up on the scoring front.
Yes.
You talked about the defense already, but if Jaden comes into the game either not playing or maybe he's still a little banged up, how does that kind of impact you from the guards' perspective?
Right. Well, the next guy's got to be able to defend, just like any other thing. Like whoever comes off the bench will be able to do that. And all these guys that they have all can score. Ty Berry had 23 at Ohio State. Deej has had some huge games for them. We all know how dangerous Boo Boo he is and how he can get, really get it going on his runners, his floaters, his deep threes. So, the next guy's just got to step up and be able to guard. But, you see it. You see those guys, like Illinois was making some tough shots. We allowed a guard to get his head up. And that's a lot of, Rob Finney, made his first shot. He's made his first shot against us before and not had games like that. And then he got going, and so he had a little bit of everything. He had drives in the half court, he had drives in transition, and then he had his threes. And we just got to do a better job of guarding people. It's what we always talk about, the respect you have to have for other players in the league. It doesn't mean you got to, go crazy or nothing, but you can't let good players get their head up. Once good players get their head up, now you can actually play good defense, and they still got it going.